go to Shane Davis and student athletes Thomas Jaeschke and Jake Selsky. We'll open it up to questions.
Shane, what did you guys do different to win last Saturday from the previous two matches?
Just threw a few extra wrinkles in there, and I think one of the biggest pieces, key things for us was our service was much better than our two previous meetings, and that was kind of the X factor for us. We were able to stay in system, and as you saw last night, Lewis has a very, very big and disciplined block, so it goes a long way when we can stay in system and have all options for our center.
And you're healthier?
We are healthy. We feel good.
You need to document a couple of the things that you got through.
Yeah. Cody called. Well, obviously Thomas had broke his foot over the summer with the national team, and so he all fall and really kind of came in late and started in January. It took him a while to find his groove, and then once he found his groove, Cody pulled his ab, and it was 6 weeks of dealing with that. Owen McAndrews has had some issue with his leg at this point. Nicholson missed a month due to a stress reaction. Ben Playstead has a sprained ACL, so it's been quite the patchwork throughout the season, but it goes a long way in terms of the quality of guys that we have, in terms of next man up and guys filling in roles, and now we feel good.
Shane, you guys have played each other. This will be the 4th time this season. Do you change the amount of game film that you guys review going into a match like this when you're so familiar with an opponent?
Yeah, that was, I guess, one thing going into for Saturday's match. We're very familiar with Lewis. They're not necessarily doing too many things different. They are who they are, and we are who we are. They might add a few extra wrinkles that we've got to prepare for. But other than that, I think both programs are very, very familiar with one another and the style of one another.
Mr. Thomas and Jake, beating Lewis, how much confidence does that give you guys as a team?
I think it's big, just knowing that we've done it before. I know we were fired up last Friday to play them, and we're excited to play them again. You know, you gotta just treat it as another match, but you know, having beaten them, it gives a lot of extra confidence.
You just gotta try to explain the nature of the rivalry.
Is that to you, Thomas?
Anyone?
I was a freshman. I'm sure Thomas would have more to say on this, but just the 3 times we played each other, it's been the crowds have been huge. It's been really intense. All really tight matches. So yeah, it's just every time we match up with them, it's just a grind. You just gotta bring your best.
And I think we met them in the conference championship the last 3 years, and like Jake said, they've all been really close matches. And you know, when it's just 2 teams constantly fighting for the top spot, there's going to be a rivalry there. You're going to want to beat the other team, so I think it comes naturally. And me and Jake both know a bunch of guys on that team, and I think there's a lot of respect for one another, but there's a healthy rivalry as well.
How healthy is that rivalry? I mean, is it intense? Is it, you know, don't talk to each other? I mean, give me a level of how deep this is.
I think it's gotten a lot healthier in the last, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. I think prior to that, it was pretty chippy, and I think now we both have friends on Lewis, and before the game, you know, we're saying hi, giving them hugs, but once game time starts, I'm not talking to you through that. I'm not your friend. I'm just playing volleyball.
My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the schools are pretty close, but it's very different in terms of, I guess, just the nature of each community. Do you think that, you know, kind of that aspect, or that kind of the differences there help form the programs? Is there a trickle down effect to you guys taking on the personality of your schools at all?
Coach?
Yeah, I think they're very much different. You know, location, type of school, everything, and I think maybe based off of the type of guys that go to Lewis aren't necessarily the same guys that come to Loyola. It's very much different in that sense. If you're happy at Loyola, you wouldn't be happy at Lewis. It's that much of a difference between the academic strengths or weaknesses, the location, maybe coaching styles. It's across the board. It's 2 very different programs.
Since both of you guys are from the area, what does it mean to you that these 2 schools with so many Wisconsin players are involved?
Thomas?
I think it's huge just for the game. I know back when I committed to Loyola, staying near home wasn't necessarily important for me. And looking back, I would make that decision 100 times out of 100. I have great support from my family. My parents don't miss a match, and I have like 15 family members numbers here. They made the trip out from Florida, Colorado, and Illinois. And I think it's huge to just be able to bring that to the Midwest. And Lewis is the same way. They've really built a good program, and they've been very strong in the last few years. They made the Final Four, what was it, 3 years ago? So my senior year of high school, they made it, and they made it the Final Six last year, and championship this year. So I think it's great for the game.
Those are your people behind us. They're a pressure open being so crazy.
Yeah. That would be.
They're not right. They're not right. Go ahead. If you next it.
Yeah, I definitely think it's great for the game. You know, with us winning last year, it definitely shows a lot of parity throughout the game. Even in the club, last year a team from Arizona won the 18 Open Nationals, so that was something that we've never seen before. So it just shows top to bottom, volleyball all over the country is getting everyone stepping up their game.
Thomas, this is the first opportunity we've had to talk to you since you were named the National Player of the Year on Wednesday. What was that like being able to win that award?
It's definitely cool, but you kind of have to take it for what it is. It's a plaque, but it's not the memories that I can create with these guys. It's not playing with my team, so it's awesome, and I'm super grateful. And there are a lot of other deserving candidates, in my opinion. But you know, I would take the national championship trophy over that trophy 100 times out of 100.
Dan, we talked about it last year about you guys, you and Shane, you and Dan talked about it last year. Same, you know, whatever. And you talked about, you know, the chance of playing each other, and then I asked him in the last press conference if you guys talked about it this year. He said he doesn't remember that you ever did. About the possibilities of this happening tomorrow night.
I think once the tournament bracket was announced, I think I shot him a text and I said, I hope we're in the finals together. Pretty cool match. So I think that's about all the conversation we've had about it. So looking forward to it tomorrow night.
Shane, you look at the conference as a whole, just historically, was there a moment maybe within the last 5 years when you kind of noticed a turning point with the conference and that it had really taken the next step to have, you know, 2 teams down in the finals?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the club program, which recruiting. You know, we've got the group of West Allis that came in, the sports performance group that came in, and started getting a chunk of guys that were playing together. And Lewis kind of was doing the same thing. And once we started getting those guys, the homegrown talent, staying home and playing for these programs, that was kind of the big shift. And you get a couple back-to-back classes like what we got and what Lewis had, and I think that was the big shift. And you know, you sprinkle in a couple West Coast kids and maybe an East Coast kid here and there, and then all of a sudden you've got a pretty good